Yeah. Sure. Yes. Yes. And we have Susan Schwartz as well. Two Schwartzes. Okay. Oh, yeah.
So, just real quickly, so let me know, so we have these friends who are, red and stuff. And I think I mentioned we were talking about getting together, and they wanted to come here and have a service with you. They wanted us to come up there and have a service with them, so they're high flying. But do you know which Fridays you're thinking for, like, November?
I do. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And whenever you think about it, I don't know if you have my email, but I'd love to write in and pick out a day together for us to come here, and we're gonna go there.
Amazing. Let me get a pen, Clive, and I'll write down other. Yeah. Yes. Took a breath.
Just the one, though.
Just a one. Just one. No, you don't have to have a mask. It's up to you. Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Shabbat Shalom. Lovely to see you all this evening. You don't need your prayer book to begin, but I trust that everybody got one on the way in. Blue Mishkan Tefillah. Good, lovely. We'll begin our service this evening with a nigun, a yai lai lai melody. Please join me in singing. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai 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 lai.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Can you hear me? Is this, yes, kind of? No?
I'll turn it up.
Hold on. Hold on. Is this any better? Okay, good. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us this evening here in person or via our live stream for this Shabbat post High Holy Days, post Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It was wonderful to worship with so many of you throughout the High Holy Days, and it is nice to just have a moment for Shabbat, a moment to take a break from the rest of our busy lives, the rest of this past week, and just settle in for a moment in this place of joy, this place of rest, this place of hope as we enter into this special time. We will add a little bit more light to our world with the lighting of our Shabbat candles on page 2.
Please join me in singing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad mikneh shel Shabbat.
We'll turn to page 10. We will sing the words of Psalm 133, Hine Matov, to the melody that we did our nigun to at the beginning of our service. Hine Matov u'manayim, sheverachim gam yachad. 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 We continue with the words just below Hine matov, ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. How lovely is today.
Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom.
We'll turn to page 20. The words of L'chadodi. We welcome in our Shabbat queen, our Sabbath bride, as we welcome in that joy, that hope, that excitement that we feel on Shabbat.
L'chadodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם לתפארת ולתחילה לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 9 at the bottom of page 21. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני על סגולה. בואי חלה, לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
On page 22, we turn to the words of Psalm 92, a psalm we say specifically on Shabbat. The words Tov lehodot Adonai, it is good to give thanks to you, Adonai, through praise and through singing songs. And this psalm encompasses the idea of the hope that there will be a time where every day might feel like Shabbat. Page 22, Psalm 92.
ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, לאמונתך בלילות, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, לאמונתך בלילות. ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We're called as one community, the community who's here with us in this room, the community beyond our walls, the other Jews around the world who are gathering together in prayer. We are called to this community on page 28 with the words of the Baraku. Please rise in body or spirit.
Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Baraku et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach
You may be seated. Continue on the next page, on page 30. The words of Ma'ariv Aravim, the prayer where we give thanks for our Creator, the Creator of darkness and light, the one who rolls darkness into light and light into darkness, as we give thanks for this evening. About halfway down your page, you'll see the words Borei Yom V'Laila. And halfway down the English, you'll also see You Are Creator. We'll use both of those texts as we offer these words.
You are creator of day and night, rolling light into darkness and darkness to light. You are creator of day and night, rolling light into darkness and darkness to light. Golelo mipnei choshech vechoshech mipnei or. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
We declare God's oneness, Shema Yisrael, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We'll turn to page 39 at the bottom of the page, and we'll read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when nations
shall be one and at peace.
Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. We turn to page 40, the words of Michamocha.
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai lai. Bichamocha ba'elim Adonai, bichamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. Malchutecha uvanecha, pokei yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze eliyanu ve'ameru, ze eliyanu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch le'olam.
on page 43, words of our Hashkivenu. We pray that God will spread a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace over all of us, over our community, and over the entire world.
We'll use the creative English reading at the very top of page 43. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Eloheinu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
It's becoming noticeable outside that our seasons are changing. We happened to have a beautifully warm day on Wednesday for Yom Kippur, where it was 70 degrees and sunny outside, and at the same time, we noticed that the leaves were starting to turn yellow and orange and red around us. And today, it was rainy and cool, and we're starting to notice those changes in our season. On Sunday, we begin the holiday of Sukkot, where we are commanded to sit outside in our booths in our Sukkot and experience some of the fragility of our human existence and be in the nature, be in the outdoors. And one of our prayers contained within our Amidah section of our service is the Gevurot, our prayer about strength. And within that prayer, we have two different inserts that we use at different times of year. For the winter months, we say Mashiv Haruach Umarid Hagashem, and in the summer, we say Marid Hatal. So right now, we're in the time between Pesach and Shemini Atzeret, which is the end of Simchat Torah. And this is considered the summer time. So we say the words Morid Hatal, you rain dew upon us. After Simchat Torah, we will change to Mashiv Haruach Umarid Hagashem. And we join in calling for the rains to come. In Israel, we pray that this will be a rainy season, so they will have enough rain to sustain their crops and to sustain life. So we add in these two specific inserts that have to do with the changing of the seasons in just a couple weeks. So right now, even though it doesn't necessarily feel like it today, we are still in the summer insert. So in just a moment, we're going to do the Gevurot, but first, we'll open our Amidah with the words Adonai Safateh Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha on page 46. You may rise in body or spirit.
Adonai Safateh Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekone HaKol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Vezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Ulmatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua. Vene'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Page 52, we'll read together in the middle of the page. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. We'll read together on the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. And may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. We'll pause now for a moment of your own personal reflection and meditation, and we'll join together again on page 62 with the words of Oseh Shalom.
Our prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom, at the bottom of page 62. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'ol kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen, amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
We'll take a moment now to offer our prayer of healing. Whether you personally are in need of this prayer or you're thinking of someone tonight who is in need of healing, or we're just thinking about those in our broader community, in our wider world who need that source of comfort, that source of hope for a feeling of shlemut, a wholeness. And we pray for that shlemut. We pray for that kind of healing to all of those who are in need this evening. We turn to page 253, the words of Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikol HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I was thinking about what teaching I wanted to share this evening. We're having a moment. Lights flickering. Okay. Seems like there's a message there. When I was thinking about what I should teach this evening, there's a point where in the month of Elul, where Jewish professionals, clergy, rabbis, cantors, cantorial soloists, anyone who's preparing for the work of the holy days has a moment of panic that Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are almost here. And last month, when I came back to work after maternity leave, I was driving home and I saw the moon, and it made me realize how close we were to this holiday of Rosh Hashanah. And tonight, once again, the moon has reached its almost fullness of this month, and we approach the holiday of Sukkot. So I don't always watch the moon closely. I notice it every once in a while, but particularly during these months of Elul and Tishrei, the moon means something different. The moon gives us a sense of where we are in our calendar leading up to the holy days and leading into the holiday of Sukkot and then Simchat Torah. So in just 2 days, we will reach our full moon for the month of Tishrei. And that same night will begin the holiday of Sukkot. And there's a story called Capturing the Moon. There's, in fact, an entire book of Jewish stories called Capturing the Moon. And I've shared this story with you before. So I hope I won't bore you by sharing it again, but I felt it was so appropriate on this evening where hopefully we'll go outside after this service and be able to see the fullness, almost fullness of our moon, and think just what the moon might mean to us. So this is a story about the people of Chelm, who are known as the wisest fools. Of all the things the people of Chelm loved, they loved the moon most of all. And when it shone brightly in the night sky, there was great joy and celebration in the town. Everything was brighter, the homes were brighter, the streets were brighter. People would frolic in the streets at night with their loved ones, and children would listen to their parents tell them beautiful bedtime stories. And they were all kind and welcoming and connected to one another when the moon was so bright in the sky. But when the moon disappeared and became just a tiny sliver again, it was dark and gloomy, and people were sad. They weren't as joyful. They weren't as kind and considerate to one another. And so one day, one of the people of Chelm said, "If only we could capture the moon, then we could let a little light in on those dark, gloomy nights and bring happiness to our world." But how do we capture the moon, they wondered. "Well," offered one of the townspeople, the tailor, "once I was eating a bowl of soup, and as I ate, I looked into the bowl, and in the bowl was the light of the moon. If we had a big enough bowl of soup, maybe we could capture the moon." And so they decided to create the biggest bowl of soup that they could. They built a gigantic bowl in the center of town, and then each of the townspeople made the biggest pot of soup that they could at home, and they all brought their soup to the center of town and put it in this gigantic bowl. And it was the time in the month when the moon was at its fullest, and they went to the town square, and they went to the big, gigantic bowl of soup, and there they saw the moon reflecting in this huge bowl, and they said, "Now we'll catch the moon." And so they had created a giant cover to put over this bowl. And as soon as they saw the reflection of the moon in the bowl, they snapped the cover on the gigantic bowl of soup. "We own the moon," they shouted. "It's right here. It's in the world's biggest bowl of soup. We own the moon." That night, they danced and they rejoiced all into the night. But as the sun went down and darkness covered the land the next night, the moon was covered by a cloud. And the people were so concerned because the moon was no longer captured in this bowl of soup. How can the moon be in the sky? We tried to capture it in this bowl of soup. Someone must have let it out. But who would do such a terrible thing? And so they launched an investigation. Everyone in the town was interrogated. No one except, of course, the rabbi. No one thought to ask the rabbi what happened to the moon. So they went to the rabbi and they said, "Rabbi, did you let the moon out of the soup?" The rabbi said, Yes, it was I." And a shock ran through the town, and they asked, "But why, dear rabbi, why?" The rabbi looked at them and said, "Because there are things we should enjoy while we have them. They are ours to own and to hold and enjoy, like a shirt or a watch or our shoes. And there are things," the rabbi continued, "things of greater value that we enjoy only when we share them. Do you know what things I mean?" Love, someone suggested. Yes, love. And hugs. And joy. Yes, joy. And the moon. The moon as well, the rabbi responded. Only when we share it can we really enjoy its light. And so I was the one who let the moon out. And now all the world can share it. But what will we do on dark nights? We'll be sad and it'll be dark and gloomy. That's true, responded the rabbi. Into every life comes times of sadness, darkness, and gloom. That's part of life. But we'll just have to find something else to share that sustains us when this happens. Like what, they asked. Like soup. We'll share soup. If you can't own the moon and share happiness all the time, the next best thing is to share soup. And so it was declared a tradition. On the nights where the moon disappeared and the night sky drew dark and gloomy, everyone shared soup, and it helped. For soup may not bring happiness, but it helps. So as we move from our period of the high holy days, this period of the work of teshuvah, this heavy and joyful soul work, we move toward the holiday of Sukkot, a holiday where we proclaim the words Moedim L'Simcha. May it be a time of great joy, a time of great happiness, acknowledging that there are times where we experience great sadness and great darkness, personally and communally, and that there's times where we experience great love, great joy, and happiness. And so I invite you, as we head into this holiday of Sukkot, to think of the ways that you can bring joy and light into our world, and when that's not possible, to bring soup. Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn to page 282. You may rise in body or spirit as we sing together the words of Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגלגל מרמים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This evening, the Sukkot Shalom community remembers Sophie Strauss, David Levy, Leslie S. Pauls Jr., Morris Kimmel, Sheldon Miller, Susan Schwartz, Saul Levy, Sidney Gutman, Martin Schwartz, Rose Cranen, Marvin Perry, Rose Lazar, Susie Sabbath, Owen Petrozelka, Frida Rabinowitz, Edward Rothschild, Ralph Arnheim, Michael Corzone, Regina Hoberger. Are there any other names that you would like to recall this evening? We turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma divarach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'elam olmei alamaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei kudasha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Dam yiram b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We hope you'll join us next Friday as we celebrate Shabbat and the holiday of Sukkot. Services will be at 6 p.m. We'll have some treats out in the sukkah for everyone to enjoy. So please join us a few minutes early for that, and then services at 6 p.m. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.